The Eumenides by Aeschylus. Characters: the Pythia, priestess of Apollo, Apollo, Hermes, Orestes, the ghost of Clytemnestra, a chorus of Furies, Athena. I give highest honor among the gods to Earth, the first seer, and after her Themis, for she was the second to take the office of seer that belonged to her mother, so goes the story. Third, with Themis willing and with no compulsion, another Titan, child of Earth, Phoebe, took her office here. She then bestowed it as birth gift upon Phoebus Apollo, who has a name derived from Phoebe. When Phoebus left behind the sea and the rocks of Delos and landed on Pallas' ship-frequented shores, he came to this land and the temples of Parnassus. The children of Hephaestos, road builders, who make the wilderness tame, accompanied him and honored him greatly. The people, too, truly celebrated his coming, and Delphos, helmsman and lord of the land, Zeus made Phoebus, inspired with the skill of becoming possessed by the gods, and established him as the fourth seer on this throne, and Loxias as the declarer of Zeus his father. I begin by invoking these gods. Pallas, who stands before the temple also, is especially honored in my words, and I worship the nymphs who live on the hollow Corcyraean crag, the delight of birds and haunts of daemons. Bromios has held the region. I do not forget him, since he, as a god, led the Bacchants in war and contrived for Pentheus to die as a hare dies. I call on the streams of Pleistios and the power of Poseidon, and mightiest Zeus, who brings prayers to fulfillment, and I take my seat as seer upon my throne. Now grant that I enjoy the best fortune, far better than I enjoyed on my previous entrances to the temple, and if there are any Hellenes, let them come in turn by lot, as is the custom. I speak as a seer, whichever way the god leads. The Pythia turns to enter the temple, and returns in terror. Horrible, horrible to tell and to see, have sent me back from the house of Loxias, so that I have no strength and I cannot stand straight. I am running on my hands and knees, not with quickness of limb, for a frightened old woman is nothing, or rather, she is like a child. I was going to the inner shrine, decked with wreaths, when I saw on top of the omphalos a man abominable to the gods, in the attitude of a suppliant, his hands dripping gore, holding a sword freshly drawn from a wound, and an olive branch from the top of the tree, crowned in a balanced way with a long strand of shining white wool. This much I can relate clearly. In front of the man sitting on the throne, an awesome band of women sleep. No, not women, but Gorgons, I mean, although I would not compare them to the forms of Gorgons. Once before I saw a picture of Gorgons carrying off the feast of Phineus, but these here, at least as far as I can see, are wingless, black, totally loathsome. They snore with sharp snorts, they drip vile tears from their eyes. Their appearance is not fit to go either to the statues of the gods or to the homes of men. I have never seen this species, nor the land that boasts of rearing this breed with impunity, and does not grieve its labor afterwards. Let what is now to come be the concern of the master of the house, powerful Loxias himself. He is a mantis of healing, a diviner of portents, and a purifier of homes for others. The Pythia exits. The temple doors open, revealing Apollo standing over Orestes at the omphalos. Nearby the Furies are asleep, and Hermes stands in the background. Apollo speaks. I will not abandon you. I am your guardian all the way to the Telos, standing near and far away. I will not be kind to your enemies. So now you see these mad women overcome, these loathsome maidens have fallen asleep, old women, ancient children with whom no god, no man, no beast ever consorts. They were born for evil, And since they live in evil gloom and in Tartarus under the earth, hateful to men and to the Olympian gods, all the same, try to get away and do not lose heart, Orestes, for they will drive you on even as you go across the wide land, always in places where wanderers walk, beyond the sea and the island cities. Do not grow weary brooding on your ordeal, but when you have come to the polis of Pallas, sit yourself down and clasp in your arms the ancient wooden image of the goddess, and there we shall find judges for your case, and have spellbinding and effective muthoi to release you from your labors completely, for it was I who persuaded you to kill your mother. Lord Apollo, you do not know how to be without Dike, and since you are capable, also learn not to neglect, for your power to do good is dependable. Remember, do not let fear conquer your phrenes. Hermes, my blood brother, born of the same father, keep watch and true to your name. Be his escort, shepherding this suppliant of mine. Zeus honors the respect of those who are outside the protection of the laws, and this respect brings to mortals a fate that leads to a good outcome. Apollo departs. Orestes departs, escorted by Hermes, when the ghost of Clytemnestra appears. You all asleep? Yet what need is there of sleepers? Because of you I am dishonored in this way among the dead. The reproach of those I killed never leaves me while I am among the dead, and I wander in disgrace. I declare to you that I endure much blame because of them, and yet while I suffer so cruelly from my most Pholoi, and no daemon has meanness on my behalf, although I was slaughtered at the hands of a matricide, see these gashes in my heart and from where they came. For the sleeping friends is lit up with eyes, but in the daytime it does not see the fate of mortals. You really have lapped up many libations, wineless libations, offering unmixed with wine for the dead, and I have offered solemn nocturnal banquets upon a hearth of fire at a time not shared with any other god. I see all this trampled underfoot. He is gone, escaping like a fawn, lightly like that, from the middle of a place surrounded with snares. He rushed out mocking you. Hear me, since I plead for my cause. Activate your spirits, goddesses of the underworld. In a dream I, Clytemnestra, am calling you. Ghost of Clytemnestra, mutter if you will, but the man is gone, fled far away, for his friends are not like mine. Mutter if you will, but the man is gone, fled far away, for his friends are not like mine. You too are drowsy and do not pity my suffering. The murder of his mother Orestes is gone. You moan, you sleep. Will you not get up quickly? Are you supposed to be doing anything but working evil? Sleep and labor, real conspirators have snapped the strength of the dreadful dragon. Catch him, catch him, catch him, catch him, take heed. In a dream you are hunting your prey and are barking like a dog after a scent, never leaving off the pursuit. What are you doing? Get up. Do not let sleep overcome you, and do not ignore my misery because you have given in. Sting your heart with reproaches that have justice, for reproach goads those who are sophrones. Send after him a gust of bloody breath, waste him with the vapor, with the fire from your guts. After him, waste with him a second chance. Awake, awake, wake her up as I wake you. Still asleep, get up, shake off the sleep. Let us see if any part of this beginning is in vain. Oh, alas, we have suffered, sisters. Indeed, I have suffered much and all in vain. We have suffered an experience hard to heal. Unbearable evil, our prey has escaped our nets and is gone. While I was overcome by sleep, I lost my prey. O child of Zeus, you have become wily, and you, a youth, have ridden down elder females. By honoring the suppliant, a godless man and bitter to his parents. Though you are a god, you have stolen away a man that killed his mother. Who will say that any of this was done with justice? Reproach comes to me in a dream, like a charioteer with goad grasped in the middle, and strikes me under my spirits, under my vitals. I can feel the cruel, so cruel chill of the people's destroying scourge. They do this sort of thing, the younger gods, who have power far beyond justice. A throne dripping blood about its foot, about its head. I can see the Omphalos defiled with a terrible pollution of blood. Though he is Amantis, he urges himself and directs himself. He has defiled his sanctuary with a family of pollution. Contrary to the custom of the gods, he respects the rights of humans and causes the ancient rights to decay. Indeed, he brings distress to me, but him he shall not deliver. Although he escapes to the places beneath the earth, never will he be free. A suppliant himself, he will suffer in his life another vengeance on account of his family. Apollo enters from the inner sanctuary. Out of my temple at once I order you. Be gone, quit my sanctuary of the seer's art, or else you might be struck by a flying wing, glistening snake shot forth from a golden bowstring, and then you would spit out black foam from your lungs in pain, vomiting the clotted blood you have drawn. It is not proper for you to approach this house, so go. Go to those places where the punishment, they chop off heads, gouge out eyes, slit throats, and where young men's virility is ruined by destruction of their seed, where there are mutilations and stonings, and where men are impaled beneath the spine, moan long and piteously. Do you hear? The feast you love makes you detestable to the gods. The whole fashion of your form shows it. It is reasonable for creatures like you to dwell in the den of a blood-drinking lion, but do not to rub your filth on everything you touch in this oracular shrine. Be gone, you flock without a shepherd. No god is the beloved shepherd of such a flock. Lord Apollo, here are to return in reply. You yourself are not just partially responsible for these crimes, but you alone have done it all, and so you are totally to blame. What do you mean? Spit out your story a little longer. Through your oracle you directed the stranger to kill his mother. Through my oracle I directed him to exact vengeance for his father, and what of it? And then you agreed to take the flesh blood on yourself. Yes, I ordered him to turn for expiation to this house. And then do you truly revile us who accompanied him? You are not fit to approach this house, but it is our duty. What is the Time here? Boast of your fine reward. We drive matricides from their homes. And what about a wife who kills her husband? That would not be murder of relative by blood. Indeed, you damage the honor that is due to the social contracts of Hera, who brings the end, and of Zeus. You slight them. Aphrodite too is cast astride, bereft of honor because of your argument. Aphrodite, who is the source of all things that are most dear to mortal men. For marriage between man and woman is ordained by fate, and is better protected by justice than an oath. If you release those who kill each other, and neither exact the penalty nor punish them with wrath, then I claim that you are without justice in hunting down Orestes. For I know that you are very concerned about some murders, but you are more serene even to those who openly commit others. But the goddess Pallas will handle the judgment of these cases. I will never let that man go. Pursue him then, and get more trouble for yourself. Do not cut short my honor with your argument. I would not have anything to do with your honor. All the same, you are said to be very important to the throne of Zeus. But as for me, since a mother's blood leads me on, I will pursue this justice against this man, and even now I am on his track. The Furies exit. And I will aid the suppliant and rescue him, for the mind of the suppliant would be awesome to gods and mortals if I intentionally abandoned him. Apollo enters the sanctuary. The scene changes to Athens, before the temple of Athena. Hermes enters with Orestes, who embraces the image of the goddess. Queen Athena, at Loxias' command I have come. Receive an accursed wrench kindly. I am not a suppliant for purification, for my hand is not unclean, but my guilt's edge has already been blunted and worn away at other temples and among men. I have traveled on land and sea alike, and I have kept the commands of Loxias' oracle. Now I approach your house and wooden statue goddess. Here will I keep watch and await the end of justice. The Furies enter. Ah, this is a clear sign of the man. Follow the clues of the voiceless informant. For as a hound tracks a wounded fawn, so we track him by the drops of blood. My lungs are heaving from many tiring struggles. I have visited every corner of the earth, and I have come over the sea in wingless flight, pursuing him no slower than a ship. And now he cowers here somewhere. The smell of human blood greets me. Look again, look everywhere, so that the matricide will not escape our notice and leave his debt unpaid. Yes, here he is again with a defense. He has wrapped his arms around the wooden statue of the immortal goddess, and he wants to be tried for his deeds. But it is not possible. A mother's blood upon the earth is hard to requite. Alas, the quick liquid has been poured on the ground and is gone. In return, you must allow me to suck the blood-red gore from your live limbs. I will feed on you a gruesome drink. I will lance you alive and drag you down under the earth so that you repay your mother's murder with equal anguish. You will see if any other mortal has committed an offense that dishonors a god, or a guest, or his parents. Each has a worthy claim to justice, for Hades is a mighty judge of mortals under the earth, and he observes everything with his recording freen. Schooled in misery, I know many purification rituals, and I know when it is just to speak and similarly when to be silent. And in this case I have been ordered to speak by a teacher. For the blood slumbers and fades from my hand, the pollution of matricide is washed away. While the blood was still fresh, it was driven away at the hearth of the god Phoebus by expiatory sacrifices of swine. It would be a long story to tell from the beginning how many people I visited with no harm from the meeting. As time grows old, it purifies all things alike. So now, with a pure mouth in a manner that is euphemos, I invoke Athena, lady of the land, to come to my aid. Without this spear she will win me, my land, and the good faith of the Argive people, as faithful allies in justice and for all. Whether in the Libyan regions of the world or near the waters of Triton, her native stream, whether she is in action or at rest, aiding those who are friends to her, and whether like a bold marshal she is surveying the Phrygian plain, oh, let her come. She hears even far away because she is a goddess, and she may be my deliverer from these troubles. No, be sure not Apollo nor Athena's strength would save you from perishing abandoned. You who do not know joy, you will be sucked dry of blood by demons, a shadow. You do not answer. You scorn my words. You who are a victim fattened and dedicated to me, you will be a living feast for me, even though you will not be slain at an altar. Now you will hear my hymn, a spell for you. Come now, let us join in the chorus, since it seems good to make our hateful song known and to show how our group distributes positions among men. We believe that we give straight justice. No meanness from us will stealthily come over a man who shows his hands are clean, and he will go through life unharmed. But whoever commits an offense, as this man has, and hides his blood-stained hands, we are reliable witnesses against him, and we are avengers of the bloodshed, coming to the aid of the dead as we appear in the fullness of time. O Mother Night, hear me, Mother who gave birth to me, so that I would work retribution for the blind and the seeing. For Leto's son has deprived me of honor by snatching away this cowering wretch who is a suitable expiation for his mother's blood. I sing this song over the sacrificial victim, a frenzied wild song, injurious, the hymn of the Furies, a spell to bind the Phrynes, a song not tuned to the lyre, a song that withers mortals. Relentless destiny spun out our fate, so that we continuously have the duty to pursue mortals who are saddled with fruitless kin-murderers, to pursue them until they go under the earth, and even when they die, they are not really free. I sing this song over the sacrificial victim, a frenzied wild song injurious to the Phryne, the hymn of the Furies, a spell to bind, a song not tuned to the lyre, a song that withers mortals. These duties were granted to us at birth, and it was also granted that the deathless gods hold back their hands from us, and none of them shares a table with us as a companion at a feast. And I have neither lot nor portion of their pure white ceremonial robes. For we undertake to ruin any house where domestic violence kills someone's beloved. We speed after the killer like this. We waste him away, even though he is strong, because of the fresh blood. And we are eager to take these cares away from others, and to establish immunity from the gods for our concerns, so that no trial will even begin. For Zeus has banished us, as blood-dripping, hateful races from his council. And men's reputations, which are proud and lofty under the sky, waste away and dwindle beneath the earth in deprivation of honor, when we, the black-robed Furies, attack and dance our hostile dance. For surely I make a great leap from above and bring down the heavy falling force of my foot. My limbs trip even swift runners. But when he falls because of his heedless outrage, he does not know it. For pollution hovers over a man in this kind of darkness, and mournful rumor announces that a murky mist envelopes his house. For it waits. We are skilled in plotting, powerful in bringing things to pass, and we remember evil deeds. We are awesome and hard for mortals to appease. Though we pursue our appointed office, we are disenfranchised and without honor, and we stand apart from the gods in sunless light. We make the road rugged and steep for the seeing and the blind alike. What mortal does not stand in awe of these things and tremble, and when he hears the law enacted by destiny, the law ordained by the gods for perfect fulfillment? My prerogative is ancient. I do not meet with dishonor, although I have a post under the earth and in sunless gloom. Athena enters. I heard a voice calling from afar, from the Scamander, where I was taking possession of the land, which the leaders and chiefs of the Achaeans assigned to me, a great portion of their spear-won spoil to be mine, all mine forever, a choice gift to Theseus' sons. From there I've come, driving my tireless foot without wings, with the folds of the aegis rustling. I yoked this chariot to lively colts. I am not afraid to see a strange group in my land, but it is a wonder to my eyes. Who in the world are you? I dress you all together, both you, strangers, sitting at my image, and you, who are like no race of humans, nor like any that was ever seen by the gods, who resembles mortal forms. But it is not right for neighbors to speak ill of a blameless man, and divine law stands aloof. Daughter of Zeus, you will hear it all in brief. We are the eternal children of night. We are called curses at home beneath the earth. Yes, I know your family and your name. You will learn soon of my honor. I would understand if someone would tell the story clearly. We drive murderers from their homes. And where is the end of an exile for a killer? Where happiness is not a custom. Would you drive this man with your shrieks into exile? Yes, for he thought he was worthy to be his mother's murderer. Were there other compulsions, or did he fear someone else's wrath? Where is there a spur so keen that it drives a man to kill his mother? Two parties are present, but only half the argument. But he would not accept our oath, nor would he be willing to give one. You prefer to have a reputation for justice than to have justice itself. How so? Explain, for you are not lacking in wisdom. I maintain that deeds without justice do not win oaths. Well then, put him to the test, and sort out a straight judgment. Then would you turn over the decision of responsibility to me? Why not? We honor you because you are worthy yourself and worthy of worthy parentage. What do you want to say to this stranger for your part? After you name your country, your family, and your fortunes, then defend yourself against this charge, if in fact you trust in justice, and if you sit guarding this statue near my hearth as a sacred suppliant, like Ixion. To all this give me a plain answer. Orestes speaks. Lady Athena, first of all, I will relieve you of the anxiety that your last words suggested. I am not a suppliant in need of purification, nor is there pollution on my hands as I sit near your statue. I will give you a hard evidence of this. It is the custom for a man who is polluted by blood guilt to be speechless until he is sprinkled with blood from the slaughter of a newborn victim. From a sacrifice it expiates a man's blood. Long since at other temples we have performed these expiatory rites by the victims and by flowing streams. Therefore I declare that this trouble is out of the way. As to my family, you will soon learn how it is. I am an Argive. My father, you rightly inquire about him, was Agamemnon, the commander of the naval forces. Along with him you made Troy, the polis of Ilion, into no polis at all. He did not die nobly after he came home, but my mother with her black sword killed him after she covered him with an intricately embroidered net which bears witness to his murder in the bath. And when I came back home, after being in exile, I slew the woman who gave me birth. I will not deny it, for the price of the murder was my father. Together with me, Luxius shares in being guilty for this deed, because he goaded my heart by telling me that I would suffer if I did not hurt those who were responsible for his death. You are to sort out whether I acted with justice or not. In any case, however, I solemnly approve it. The case is too great if any mortal thinks that he will pass judgment on it. No, it is not right even for me to set the penalties for the murder that is followed by a quick thinking, especially since you had already performed the necessary rites. When you came to my temple, you were a pure and harmless suppliant, so I respect you, since you do not bring offense to my city. Yet these women have a duty that is not to be dismissed lightly, and if they do not win this case, the venom of their fangs will fall upon the ground as intolerable perpetual plague. These are the choices, either to let them stay or to drive them away. Both are disastrous and impossible. But since this case has been brought here, I will select homicide judges who will be bound by oath, and I will establish this tribunal for all time. Summon your witnesses, collect your arguments, and the sworn evidence to support your case. I will come back after I sort out the best of my townsmen, and they will decide the case on the basis of truth, after they take an oath that they will give a verdict. Athena exits. Now this will mean the destruction of the new laws if the justice and harm of this matricide wins the case. Immediately all mortals will become accustomed to license because of this deed, and in the future many parents will endure the suffering of real wounds and death at the hands of their children. For the wrath of the Furies who keep watch upon mortals will not follow deeds, but I will let loose death in every form. One person shall learn his own fortune or release from pain from another as he anticipates its neighbor's evil fate, and some poor wretch will advise uncertain cures in vain. Do not let anyone who is struck by misfortune make an appeal and cry aloud to justice. Thrones of the Furies, some father perhaps or mother in a new suffering will lament piteously since the house of justice is now fallen. There is a time when fear is good and must sit as a guardian. It is profitable to achieve equilibrium through suffering, but who, if he did not educate his heart in fear, either city or mortal man, would still honor justice in the same way? Do not approve a lawless life, nor a life of tyrannical repression. The god grants power to all in the middle rank, but he treats other matters in different ways. I measure my words. Hubris is truly the child of impiety, but prosperity arises from the health, prosperity that is prayed for and love to all. I command you to respect the altar of justice forever, and do not spurn it. Do not tread on it with your godless foot because you are motivated by profit, for punishment will come upon you. The appointed cycle remains. Therefore let a man prefer respect for his parents as is good, and show respect to the strangers of his house. Whoever is justice seeking and without compulsion, he will not be without prosperity. Utter destruction will never befall him. But I say that the man who boldly transgresses decay and who does all sorts of evil things. In time he will surely trim his sails, when Ponos breaks over him and the boom is splinters. He will call on those who do not hear, when he is struggling in the midst of the whirling waters. The spirit laughs at a hot-headed man after it has seen him boasting that this would never happen to him. Now, when he is powerless to relieve his distress and unable to surmount the cresting wave, shipwrecking the prosperity of his earlier life on the reef of justice, and he perishes unwept, unseen. Athena enters in procession with a herald and the jury of the Areopagus. Herald, give the signal and restrain the crowd. Let the piercing Tyrian trumpet filled with human breath send forth its loud blare to the crowd. For while this council hall is filling, it is good to be silent. It is good for the whole city to learn my ordinances for time everlasting, and for these plaintiffs too, so that justice will be well served. Apollo enters. Lord Apollo, take charge of your business. Explain how you are involved in this affair. I have come both to bear witness, for this man was a suppliant according to custom and a guest of my sanctuary, and I am his purifier from bloodshed. And I come in person to be his advocate. I have the responsibility for the murder of his mother. Bring the case before the court, and as best you can, accomplish what is right. It is for you to make the speech. I am only bringing the case before the council, for the prosecutor gives an account first and correctly explains the case from the beginning. We are many, but we shall speak briefly. Pointing to Orestes. Answer in turn, pitting word against word. Tell first if you murdered your mother. I killed her. There is no denial of this. This is already one of the 3 falls that win the match. You boast over a man who is not down yet. You still must tell how you committed the murder. I will answer. I wounded her neck with a drawn sword in my hand. By whom were you persuaded, and whose advice did you follow? I followed the commands of this god here. He is my witness. The god directed you to kill your mother? Yes. Up till now, I have never blamed my fortune. But if the jury's vote condemns you, you will change your tune soon enough. I have confidence my father will send defenders from his grave. Rely on the dead now, after you have killed your mother. I do, for she was twice afflicted with pollution. Explain that. She murdered her husband, and she killed my father. So, that is why you are alive, and she is free in her death. But why did you not drive her into exile while she still lived? The man she killed was not related to her by blood. Then am I my mother's kin by blood? How could she have nurtured you, murderer, within her skirts? Do you reject the most sacred blood tie with your mother? Please, Apollo, give your testimony. Explain on my behalf whether I killed her with justice. For we do not deny the deed as I did it, but decide whether or not the bloodshed was, in your thinking, correct, so that I can make a supporting statement. I will speak in just before you. Athena's great tribunal, since I am the god, I will not lie. I have never yet, on my throne, said anything about a man or a woman or a city that Zeus, the father of Olympians, did not command me to say. I instruct you to understand how strong this justice is, but also to obey the will of my father, for an oath is not more powerful than Zeus. Zeus, as you say, granted you this oracular command, to tell this Orestes to avenge his father's murder, but not to respect his mother's honor at all. It is not at all the same thing. To kill a noble-born man who is invested with a god-given scepter, and to kill him this way by a woman's hand, not in a rush of bowshots as if he were killed by an Amazon, but as you will hear, Pallas, and the judges who are impaneled to decide this case by vote. She gladly received him home after the expedition, after he had succeeded for the most part. Then, when he was going into the bath, as he stepped onto the edge, she draped a cloak around the bath and trampled him in the tangle of an embroidered robe and cut him down. Thus the man's fate is told to you, a man who was in every way worthy of respect, who was a commander of the fleet. I have described her as such a woman, to whet the indignation of the people who are appointed to decide this case. Zeus gives preferred honor to a father's death, according to your argument. Yet he himself bound his aged father, Cronos. How is it that your argument does not contradict these facts? I give this evidence on my own behalf for you to bear. You monsters, totally loathsome and hated by the gods, Zeus could undo the shackles. There is a remedy for bondage and many means of release. But after the dust has absorbed a dead man's blood, there is no resurrection. My father created no magic spells for that, although he arranges everything else. And turning it all upside down with his power does not cost him a breath. See how you advocate acquittal for him, after he has poured out his mother's blood on the ground. Should he then live in his father's house in Argos? Which of the city's altars shall he use? Which brotherhood would allow him to use its ritual washing waters? I will explain this too, and notice how precisely I speak. The mother of her so-called child is not the parent, but she only nurtures the newly sown embryo. The male who mounts is the one who generates the child, whereas she, like a host for a guest, provides salvation for the seedling, so that divine power does not harm it. And I will offer you a sure proof of this argument. A father can exist without a mother. A witness is here at hand, the child of Olympian Zeus, who was not nurtured in the darkness of a womb, and she is such a seedling as no goddess could produce. For my part, Pallas, and other matters, and as I am able, I will make your city and your people great. I have sent this man as a suppliant to your sanctuary, so that he will be a pledge for all time, and so that you might win him in as an ally, goddess, and those that come after him, so that later generations of Athenians would remain contented with these pledges. Shall I now command these jurors to cast a vote of justice according to their understanding of the case? Has enough been said? All our arrows have already been shot, but I am waiting to hear how the trial is decided. What else would you do? To Apollo and Orestes. As for you, how can I arrange things so that I will not be blamed? You have heard what you have heard, and as you cast your ballots, keep the oath sacred in your hearts, friends. Comply with my decree now, people of Attica, as you judge the first trial for bloodshed. In the future, this council of jurors will always exist for the people of Aegeus, and this hill, this Areopagus, which was the position in the camp of the Amazons when they came here because of a grudge against Theseus, and they invaded with their army and built a newly founded rival polis with high towers, and dedicated their city to Ares. The name of this rock comes from that event. It is called the Hill of Ares. The townsmen's reverence for this hill and fear, her kinsman, will prevent them from acting unjustly, both day and night alike, so long as my citizens do not revise their laws by adding evil to them. If you pollute clear water with filth, you will never find a drink. I advise my citizens not to support and respect anarchy or tyrannical oppression, and not to drive all fear out of the city. For who among mortal men, if he fears nothing, behaves with justice? If you with justice fear reverence, you will have a defense for your land and the salvation of your polis, such as none of mankind has, either among the Scythians or in Pelops' realm. I establish this tribunal, and it will be untouched by desire for profit, worthy of reverence, quick to anger, a guard of the land, awake on behalf of those who sleep. I have given you advice, my citizens, at length about the future. But now you must rise, take a ballot, and make a decision about the case, under the sacred obligation of your oath. The word has been spoken. The jury rises and casts their ballots. And listen, I advise you not to deprive us of our honor in any way, since our presence can oppress your land. I command you to stand in awe of the oracles, mine and Zeus, and not to let them be unfulfilled. Although it is not your duty, you give approval to deeds of bloodshed. You will speak the words of a mantis, but no longer keep them unpolluted. Then was my father mistaken in his decisions about Ixion's supplication in the first case of bloodshed? You do argue, but if I do not get justice, I will visit this land as a burdensome guest. But you have no honor among either the younger or the elder gods alike. I will win. You did this same sort of thing in the house of the Furies, when you persuaded the fates to make mortal men unwilling. It is not right to benefit a man who honors you, especially when he is in need. You made the old balance of power wilt when you beguiled the ancient goddesses with wine. Since you do not have the fullness of justice, you are spitting out venom that is not hard for your enemies to bear. Although you, a youth, ride roughshod over me, an elder female, I am still waiting to hear the decision of the case, since I have not decided whether to be angry at this city. It is my duty to decide the last judgment, and I will cast my vote for Orestes. For there was no mother who gave me birth. In every way I approve what is male. With all my heart, I am very much on the father's side. Therefore I will not award a greater honor to the death of a woman who killed her husband, the guardian of the house. Orestes wins, even if he is judged by an equal vote. Toss the ballots out of the urns as quickly as possible, you jurors who have been assigned to this case. The ballots are counted. O Phoebus Apollo, how will the trial be decided? O night, our dark mother, are you watching this? Now I will meet my end by hanging, or else I will see the light. We will either perish or maintain our honor in the future. Correctly count by 5 the ballots that are cast out from the urns, friends, and feel the fear that keeps you from violating justice in the division of the votes. Great suffering comes from a lack of attention, and a single ballot has often set straight a house. The ballots are shown to Athena. The man is acquitted on the charge of bloodshed, for the cast is equal. Pallas, you have saved my house. You have restored me to my home when I was deprived of my fatherland. The Hellenes will say a man of Argos has a home again on the property of his ancestors, by the grace of Pallas and Loxias, and of that third god, the one who brings everything to fulfillment, the Savior, the one who respected my ancestral destiny and saved me when he saw who was defending my mother's interests. I will return to my home now, after I swear an oath to this land and to your people for the future and for all time to come, that no captain of my land will ever come here and bring a well-equipped spear against them. For when we ourselves are in our graves, if anyone transgresses with oaths, we will enforce them by inflicting extraordinary failures on the transgressors, by giving them heartless marches and ill-omened ocean voyages, so that pain will make them feel regret. But while the men of the future say on the straight course, they will always give honor to the city of Pallas with our allied spear, and we will remain more disposed to them. And so farewell, you people of Athens. May you have power, inescapable for your enemies in the fight, and salvation and victory with the spear. Orestes and Apollo exit. The chorus screams, Younger gods, you have written down the ancient laws and snatched them from my hands, and I, wretched, deeply angry and without honor in this land, alas, I will let venom fly from my heart, venom that brings sorrow in return. Drop of venom on the land cannot endure. A blight will come from the venom that destroys leaves and destroys children, a blight that speeds over the plain and casts pollution on the land to destroy mortals. Oh, justice, justice, I groan, what shall I do? I am the laughing stock of these citizens. I have suffered unbearably. Oh, we unfortunate daughters of night. We have sorrow, but you shall have blight on your hands. Be not persuaded by me to bear the decision with heavy grief, for you are not defeated. The trial resulted in an equal vote, which is in truth no blight on your honor, since clear testimony from Zeus was available, and the one who spoke the oracles gave evidence proving that Orestes should not suffer harm. Do not be angry. Do not hurl your heavy rage on this land. Do not make the land fruitless, letting loose your heart's poison with its fierce sharpness that eats away the seeds. For I do promise you with all justice that you shall have sanctuaries and sacred hollows in this land, where you will sit on bright thrones at your hearths, worshipped with honor by the citizens here. These younger gods, you have written down the ancient laws and have snatched them from my hands. And I, wretched, deeply angry and without honor in this land, alas, I will let venom fly from my heart, venom that brings in return for drops of venom and that land cannot endure. A blight will come from the venom that destroys children, a blight that speeds over the plain and casts pollution on the land to destroy mortals. What am I to do? We are the laughing stock of these citizens. O unfortunate daughters of night, you have the penthos of a great blight on your honor. You are not without honor, goddesses, so do not be moved by your excessive rage to make the land cursed for mortals. I also rely on Zeus. What need is there to mention that? And I alone of the gods know the keys to the house where his thunderbolt is kept. But there is no need of it, so be obedient to me, and do not make empty threats against the land. Do not threaten that all the things bearing fruit will not prosper. Calm the dark waves of your bitter passion, now that you are honored with reverence, and abide together here with me and the people of Athens. When you have the first fruits of this great land as burnt sacrifices on behalf of children and the conjugal rites, you will approve of my words forever. That I should suffer this, alas, that I, who have the ancient Furies, should live beneath the earth, alas, bereft of my honor and unclean. I am breathing Menos and all possible rage. Oh, alas, earth, what is coming over me? What anguish steals into my heart? Hear my heart, Mother Night, for the deceptions of the gods are hard to fight, and they have nearly deprived me of my ancient Time. No, I will grow tired of telling you about the benefits I promised to you, but you'll never be able to say that an ancient goddess went away deprived of your honor because of me, a younger goddess, and by the mortal inhabitants of this city, that you were bereft of the hospitality in this land. But if you give holy reverence to persuasion, and the honey of my speech is sweet, then you will surely remain here. But if you do not want to stay, it would be contrary to justice for you to inflict rage or harm on the people in this city, for it is possible for you to have a share of the land with justice and with honor. Lady Athena, tell me what place I will have. Your place will be free from pain and misery. Please accept it. And say that I have accepted it. What honor awaits me? No house will flourish without you. Will you let me be so strong? Yes, for we give straight fortune to people who honor us. And will you give me a pledge for all time? My word is as good as the accomplishment of my deed. You seem to enchant me, Athena, and I feel myself no longer angry. Then stay in the land, and you will gain honor and friends. What hymns do you want me to sing for this land? Sing hymns that are not about evil victory, but hymns of the lands and the waters of the sea and the heavens, and sing that the gusts of winds will blow over this land in the sun, and that the fruit of the earth and offspring of the beasts of the field will flourish abundantly for my citizens, and will not fail in the course of time, and that there will be a salvation of the human seed. May you be ready to weed out those who do not worship well, for I, like a gardener, cherish the race of these people, and I exempt it from sorrow. These would be your duties. I will not stand for it if this city, which is a victorious and well-known martial contest, is not honored among mortals. I will accept this home with palace, and I will not deprive of honor this city, which is a fortress of the gods for omnipotent Zeus and Ares, a city which has glory in defending the altars of the Hellenic spirits. I pray for the city and give a favorable prophecy that the joyous light of the sun will cause profitable fortunes to rise rushing from the earth. I act with favorable spirits towards my citizens. When I settle here, these great spirits who are hard to appease, for their duty is to manage everything among mortals. Yet a man who has not found them grievous does not know where the stroke of fortune comes in life. For the errors of earlier generations drag him to these divinities. Silent ruin and hateful wrath level him to the dust, even as he boasts. May no hurtful wind destroy the trees, I declare my reciprocity, and may no burning heat steal the buds from plants, nor exceed its limit. May no fruitless everlasting plague draw near. May the earth nurture the thriving flocks that bear double births in season, and may the rich produce of the earth always pay the Hermes-found gift of the spirits. Do you hear, guard of my Polis, the things she will accomplish? For the Lady Orestes is very powerful, both with the deathless gods and with those below the earth, and with mankind in getting things done clearly and with proper fulfillment. She causes songs for some people, but for others a life dimmed by tears. I forbid manslaughter and fates that are unseasonal. I grant to maidens a life of lawful marriage with your husbands. You, divine fates, our sisters by the same mother, spirits who distribute in a straight way, take part in every house at every time, and enforce the presence of justice, you most honored of gods everywhere. I rejoice that you are bringing these things to fulfillment for my land. I love the eyes of persuasion, who guided my tongue and mouth against the fierce refusal of these deities. But Zeus of the assembly has prevailed. Our rivalry in doing good always wins. I pray that discord, that insatiable evil may never rage in this city, and that the dust which drinks the black blood of citizens may never seize greedily upon disasters of vengeance in the city, disasters in which blood is shed in requital for blood. May the citizens share joy instead in a disposition of mutual esteem, and may they hate with one heart, for this cures many ills for mortals. Do they have the Furies to follow the path of good speech? Out of these terrible appearances I see great profit coming to these citizens. For if you always give time with good Furies to the good goddesses, and guide your land and city down the straight path of justice in every way, you will surely shine. Rejoice then, rejoice in the wealth allotted to you by fate. Rejoice, people of the city, as you sit near to Zeus. You are the beloved of the beloved maiden, you who learn balance in the fullness of time. The Father stands in awe of you, since you are under the wings of Pallas. And you too rejoice. But I must go ahead to give a presentation of your dwellings in the sacred light of these escorts. Go. Speed beneath the earth with these solemn offerings, and keep hate away from the land. But send what is profitable for the victory of the city. Lead on, you who live in the city, children of Kronos. Lead these females who have come from abroad to share in my home. Let the citizens have a good disposition and good deeds. Rejoice, rejoice, I say again, all of you in the city, all of you who live in the city of Pallas. If you respect well my taking up abode in this city, you will not blame the chances of your life. I approve of your words and of your vows, and I will escort you by the light of gleaming torches to places below and beneath the earth, with the attendant women who with justice guard my wooden statue. For the eye of the whole land of Theseus will come forth, an ensemble of glory, comprised of children, women, and a band of female elders. Give them honor by wearing robes dyed in crimson, and let the torches' light lead the march, so that the company of our land will manifest itself for the rest of time in fortune that brings prosperity to men. Go to your home with good hopes under a good escort, mighty lovers of honor, childless children of night. All you who dwell in this land, under the primeval caverns you win much reverence and honor and sacrifices. Be rejoiced, the whole country in unison. Be propitious and show straight hope to the land. Come here, venerable goddesses, and delight in the flame-fed torch along the road. Cry, Oli, Oli, in joyous song and dance. The treaties between foreigners who settle here and Pallas' citizens will last for all time. Zeus who sees all and fate have come down to lend support. Cry, Oli, Oli, in joyous song. The end.